If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. Well, as I usually do, when I have a list of questions that I can answer from the comments, I try to make a video where everybody gets a chance to hear the question and hear the answer, give you a little bit of perspective. And I try to also do the ones a lot that are multiple questions. Of course, there are just those questions that stick out in my mind for several days that I give a lot of focus to also. So the other day, someone said that I probably should not be doing videos where I discuss the good, the bad, the ugly. Because he says a lot, I focus a lot too much on the ugly and the bad and not so much on the good. I think I disagree with that. I see things as good that I think a lot of folks don't see. I talk about my minimalist lifestyle. I talk about my frugalness, where I don't spend a lot of money. To me, these are good things that I think a lot of people see as bad things. So I think it's perception. A lot of it is perception that they think that, well, he's just so negative. That's all he talks about is how much he can't spend any money. Well, no, to me, I find it a challenge to save money, and I was told the other day that I was paranoid, that I'm going to die with all my money in my pockets. So there's just no way to balance what it is that people want to see. But they said that my inexperience as a RVer should prevent me from making YouTube videos, because there's much more experienced YouTubers out there who are saying that this lifestyle is really good. It's not that hard. It's not as difficult as I'm making it out to be. And that when I get more experience, then I can make videos where I can tell people how to do this lifestyle correctly. Well, I really have thought about this a lot and realized that I think my videos are probably more important than the experienced folks' videos. I am giving you a perspective of a newbie on my growth and development as I go along through my life. And maybe in the next 5 years, you'll see me become an expert RVer. And how easy it will be for me. And maybe by then I'll change my entire tune and say, okay, everybody should come out here. It's great now. You're going to love it. Come on out. But for right now, I'm saying, okay, I still got all these challenges that I got to figure out. Well, these challenges are going to be the same challenges that you're going to experience. And so I think it's important that you see these challenges as I go through them. I've talked about before the 3 stages of development that I've went through, and I've seen other nomads go through. The first 6 months, it's all exciting and new, and oh yeah, come on out here, we're going to love it, it's just great. And you're moving from one spot to the next spot and just having a great time. And then the next 6 months, you're like, whoa, yeah, I'm trying to convince myself this is still good. It's a lot of work. Man, I got to spend a ton of money doing this and that, traveling and repairs. It's really not as great as it was, but I'm not going to tell myself that. And then 6 months after that, you're kind of like, you know what? If this is life, and you're going to make a decision at that point that, are we going to move on or not? I was told the other day that I'm trying to guilt people into not doing this lifestyle. And what it was is I made a couple of videos actually now on campgrounds closing down. I've made a lot of videos actually. If you go all the way back through all my videos, you're going to see a bunch of videos where I show different campgrounds being shut down for different reasons, and most of the reasons are human activity reasons. And I even tried to put numbers to it in one video where I talked about if everybody spilt 1/8 of a cup of gasoline at the big rendezvous they have in Quartzsite, Arizona every year, equal like 546 gallons of gasoline laying on the ground. So people were saying, oh, you're just trying to guilt people from not coming out here so you can enjoy it all to yourself and you don't have to worry. Well, no, that's not the case at all. That's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do, get everybody to recognize the seriousness of the issue. It's a serious issue. And campgrounds are closing down as more people are coming out here. And you need to be aware that when you come out here, it's going to be harder for you to find a campground. Or we can try to figure out, through my small little channel, we as a family can come together and try to figure out how to stop this from happening. I'm repeatedly asked, how can you live in such a small camper? There are other YouTube RVers out there who are living in a van. You know, some people will say, well, because you're a couple. Well, if you look, there is a couple, a very famous couple, makes millions of dollars in their YouTube channel and their advertisements. They live in a VW van. You know, those old 1960, 1970 vans, VW vans? That's what they live in. 2 of them. When you become a coherent team like Carolyn and I have, you learn that, you know, certain areas are your space, certain areas are her space. You know, communication is key. You can't expect your spouse to just know exactly what you're wanting to do. And, you know, Carolyn and I had to work through that issue. I would turn around and want to get out, and she wasn't realizing I was wanting to get out, so she wouldn't move her leg, and, you know, it'd be aggravating. Well, if you just communicate, say, excuse me, I mean, immediately, oh, okay, sorry, which actually brings out a more loving environment, because now you're communicating your thoughts instead of trying to mentally telepathy that over to her. The flower pots on the Coleman stove. Now, we use our Coleman stove as a heat source. A lot of people understand this. A lot of people disagree with it, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not going to change my views on this. And just so you know, other YouTube RVers are doing it. The biggest one around does it. So it's a heat source. People use it. We have our carbon monoxide detectors. I have my fire extinguishers. So, you know, I feel like I'm as safe as I possibly can. But the flower pots were made by Carolyn. She wanted to play around with it using candles. You can use these flower pots and put candles underneath them, and, you know, the flower pots get real hot. And, you know, I don't know how much heat that produces. It was just something she was playing around with. But I had this idea that I would use these flower pots, and I put it over the flame, while the flame that we're using for heat, to keep things from falling down on top of it. A lot of people ask me, does it increase the heat of the flame? And the answer is no. I really can't notice a difference in temperature using the flower pots or not using the flower pots. They do get hot. You can't touch them. But again, the only reason I use it is for a safety device that I, you know, thought, that's kind of a good idea. Thanks for watching. Like if you like the video, and happy travels.